And action. Morning, everybody. Good morning. Today is Monday, June 8th, 2020. The most interesting year of my life, probably the most interesting year of your life. But we are so happy that today you picked this gorgeous, gorgeous day that God has blessed us with and tuned in to 93.5 FM to listen to our show, my show, and your show, Cruising with the Case Handler. My name is Adam Handler. I am an attorney. I'm a partner with the firm Pollack, Isaac DeSico. I head up the personal injury department, and we've been doing this show for months and months now, giving you all the information you need to make your life better. And we do it 100% free. That's right, 100% free phone consultations with respect to immigration, personal injury, real estate, matrimonial, and criminal defense. We are a law firm that's certainly giving back to the community that's embraced us. We're so grateful that you're listening right now, either live or on Facebook. And I just want to say thank you. My phone number is 844-774-3529 or 844-PPID-LAW. The name of the firm is Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. Again, my name is Adam Handler, your case handler. And today I have with me Conrad, the Maestro Pollack, and Nelson, the Maverick Madrid, partners of mine that actually work in the immigration department of our firm. Conrad's actually the managing partner of the firm. And even once in a while, we let Squeeze do his thing on this show, letting you guys know how we can certainly make a difference in your life and your family's life. But it all starts with having that number saved. Good morning, everybody. 844-774-3529.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Anyway, pleasant good morning to each and every you gentlemen. Adam, I see you evidently had a great weekend. Nice setup with the background. Operative phrase there, setup with the background. All right.
That's not a Zoom virtual background right there.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that real?
That's Mother Nature right there.
Sure about that?
You want me to walk back there? Because I'm not sophisticated.
We know how you can
able to make myself smaller. Look at it.
Oh, he is telling the truth.
And look at that. That's about the most exercise he's gotten in the last 3 months.
Yeah, the dude can actually run too, you know?
All right.
Anyway, folks, if you're joining us now.
It's good to know he's got his pants on.
Yes, it's very good to know. That's very important. We're live on the radio, 93.5 WVIP FM, and obviously we are live on Facebook. Hence, we're speaking about the video of Adam Handler running in his backyard. We're all at home, broadcasting from home and working from home and helping you from home. My name is David Squeeze Annakie. You heard about Conrad Pollack, the maestro, the managing partner of the firm. You heard about Nelson Madrid, and obviously you heard about me. And you saw the guy there, Adam Handler, running in his backyard. Seemed like he got a little bit of a haircut this weekend. Gentlemen, as Adam said, it's a great day. It's a beautiful day. It's the unofficial first day of the week. All right. And we have a lot to talk about. How was the weekend for you, Conrad?
It was nice. Uneventful for the most part. Weekends, I just chill, detox, lay back, swim a little bit. I'm near a lake, so I do some rowing and do some biking and just, try to recharge the battery,
There you go. What about you, Nelson?
I sleep in on the weekends. Kids have no school on the weekends.
I tell you what, who wasn't sleeping this weekend? Squeeze, because man, we got flooded with phone calls both Saturday and yesterday. So kudos to you. Thank you for getting the message out, ladies and gentlemen. You've been hearing us every morning, and under normal circumstances, all of us are either at work or on our way to work. We're a little bit more, kept in these days, and that's why maybe the message isn't getting out what we're doing here in the morning. But I got to tell you, the Saturday and the Sunday crowds, boom. Wow. Thank you so much. And we look forward to speaking to all of you, today and tomorrow. The wonderful thing I see is from our call response team that the calls are coming in, and not the calls are just coming in. consultations are being made. So we can get a message, hey, 11 calls came in, 10 consultations are being scheduled. Some people are just saving the number for a rainy day. Hopefully, again, you never need it, but God forbid you do, you'll be connected to great lawyers. But, it's a situation where people are seeking information and setting up that consultation, and whether we can help you or whether we can help you, that's a whole nother story. But the fact is, you'll be hanging up that phone one way or another, knowing the honest truth after speaking to credible lawyers who practice in their respective fields of law. Again, personal injury, immigration, and whatnot.
Okay. Adam Handler, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, folks, this is where you actually can ask your questions in the capacity of personal injury or immigration. Give us a ring at 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Call that number, store that number. A lot of people did over the weekend. A lot of people do each and every single day. Once again, the number is 844-774-3529. 844-PPIDLAW. Now, Adam, I'm going to have you jump it off with a true success story of one of the clients that you have actually handled here, okay, in the tri-state area. While you're actually manning the screen, I'm going to ask Conrad Pollack to speak a little bit more about the other departments at the firm, whether that be the real estate department, the matrimonial department. We don't speak enough about it. Also, if you can expound or expand on the Brooklyn office and the Peekskill office. So this way people know that it's not just a firm at the third floor at 225 Broadway. And remember, don't go above the third floor.
Well, we do have offices in Peekskill, which we've had an office in Westchester County now for some 20 years, various locations, but we've been in Peekskill for a few years now. We have a lot of clients up there. Most of our, or a lot of our Hispanic, Spanish-speaking clients live in that area. So we opened an office there a few years ago, really as an accommodation to them, and makes it a lot easier for them to get to us, as opposed to coming down to 225 Broadway, third floor. We recently just started another similar operation in Brooklyn at 107 Avenue I, which is very conveniently located right by the train station, the Avenue I train station. And I believe it's it's either the B11 or the B12 bus. Ruthie, I'm sure you're going to text me any minute now with the right number, and I'll throw it out there. But I think it's the B11 or the B12, one or the other. We're right at McDonald and Avenue I. It's a great spot. So especially as New York City reopens, still a lot of people I know don't want to travel into Manhattan. We're going to be in Brooklyn. We have not reopened yet, but we'll be soon. In fact, speaking of reopening, I believe the Immigration District Office is opening in New York City again today, on a limited basis. They're doing naturalization, oath ceremonies, and limited activities like that. But it's a very positive sign.
We'll have to hear the general's take on that on Thursday. I'm sure he'll have news to report.
Well, yeah, hopefully it'll continue. I mean, we are in phase 1 officially in New York City today, as of today. And again, the New York District Office is reopening, which is great. Not to say that they haven't been in operation. I mean, in fact, we're working on a case right now. Somebody who's stuck outside the United States, an emergency came across our desk on Friday. And speaking of the general, he immediately sprang into action, and with his various contacts. And honestly, over the weekend, we were able to obtain various email addresses. We were able to get this matter going. This gentleman's stuck in Greece at the moment, and we're already working on it. Over the weekend, we got it done again through the general's contacts, and it's looking good. Yeah, seriously, it's good stuff. And it just happened on Friday. Anyway, as far as the rest of our firm goes, we of course have our personal injury and our immigration departments, and we've been in operation in our current form since 1988. So it's 32 years. I've been practicing since 1985 myself. Took over my dad's practice, and he was going at it for a good 15 years before me. And we have a litigation department now. We have criminal attorneys at our firm. We have matrimonial attorneys at our firm. We have employment attorneys at our firm. We pretty much run the gamut in terms of the types of legal services that we provide. So, and that's always been a goal of mine since I started things back in the 80s. I've always tried to have it such that if one of my immigration clients came in needing a real estate, they were buying a house, or they needed a will for, or a sick relative needed elder care. You know, I've always tried to find attorneys. In those days, I would refer them attorneys outside of our offices. But over the past 30 years, we've gathered many great professionals under our wing, so to speak, under our roof. So that if somebody asks me, hey, you know, thanks for getting me my green card, or thanks for making me a U.S. citizen, Mr. Pollack, I need to do a will now. Okay, well, I'm going to walk you down the hall to Fred DeSico's office, and he's going to take care of you. Or, you know, Mr. Handler, now that I have this money that you got me, there's this house that I've been wanting to buy for my mother all these years. Do you know anybody that can help us in terms of that real estate transaction?
Or Conrad, think about the other side. You know, what about the clients that we get the big settlement for, and now they have money to, you know, change their status or work on their citizenship? Yep. You walk them right down the hall, right? So it goes the other way too. Amazing.
We have really become a one-stop shop. So bad things happen to people. You know, I mean, accidents, they get arrested, they get picked up by immigration, or they lose their green cards. We can help every one of those situations. And we do it all the time. It's a daily occurrence in our office, which, you know, I'm very proud of that we've achieved that. And we have so many great professionals at our firm, so that people don't have to go, well, I have to go see this lawyer in the Bronx, and then I have to go to see this other lawyer in Staten Island. You don't have to do that. You can come to our office in New York City at 25 Broadway, 3rd floor. I'll come to our office at Avenue I at 107 Avenue I in Brooklyn.
And the most important part about that concept is accountability, right? Everybody out there that's listening to this show and having the number saved, hopefully you are, 844-774-3529 or 844-PPID-LAW. When you come to a law firm that everything is serviced essentially under one roof, there's accountability, right? If you have different attorneys, you know, in different boroughs or even different buildings, you know, you don't know exactly how your case is going to be handled all the time, because you're checking in with this lawyer on this case, this lawyer on another case. With PPID, you send one email to an attorney, you can get a full update on any legal matters you have. Or more importantly, and Nelson could probably comment on this better than any of us, is that, like, what happens, and I'm just using this example, if you have an immigration case going, right? But then you catch a criminal case, and you have two different lawyers handling those matters, right? One lawyer down the street, another lawyer there. And there's no communication between those lawyers. Nelson, aren't there situations in which your criminal case can affect your immigration case, or your immigration case can affect your criminal case if the lawyers aren't communicating and working together?
Absolutely. And that's one of the great things about our office. You know, Adam, just on Friday, Matt Goodstein called me, and he had a personal injury client who had just recently received a request for evidence from immigration. And Matt, you know, called me and said, Nelson, this is one of our clients. Can you please help her out? I said, sure, go ahead. He transferred the call to me. I hope I was able to help her out. She took down my information. So it happens every day. It happens all the time, which again, I think is something very positive, not just for us, but for the client as well.
It really is. It makes it so much easier, especially in a situation like that where, and it happens, Adam, it happens all too frequently where we have an immigration client that maybe they get pulled over at DWI, you know, or maybe a family member does. So they come and talk to Nelson, or they come and talk to me. And when we're done, we could just walk them down the hall and talk to Greg the Hammer Pinto, you know? Sure. I mean, it's so convenient. And as our clients see that, and as that becomes more commonly known within the community that we're addressing here, you know, we're hoping that people will take advantage of that.
And that's really you're right, Conrad. That's the message we're trying to get out. You know, we're trying to get out to the community that we, as a law firm, Pollack, Isaac DeSico, have committed ourselves. Well, we did as soon as we were sworn in as attorneys, but even more so now, to really make sure that the listeners out there, 93.5, and of course on Facebook, understand that there's a law firm that does it right. There's a law firm that does it differently than everybody else, that treats you with the respect that you deserve as a client. A lot of lawyers forget, all right? This is, even though we're professionals, this is still a service-based industry as far as I'm concerned. And when you go to your lawyer and you're not treated with respect, or you have a lawyer and you don't hear from them, or, you know, or a lawyer tries to sell you a bag of tricks that's never going to work and take your money, you know you're in the wrong spot. And if you never, ever, ever want to have to deal with that kind of nonsense, you're going to have our number saved. 844-774-3529, 844 PPID law. It's hard for lawyers to promise anything, you know, because you never know what's going to happen. But I'm promising you right now, okay, ladies and gentlemen, that if you become a client of our firm, you will have an experience unlike any other client will have in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and even on the immigration side on a national level. I'm saying that right now. I promise you.
International level, as I just mentioned.
Yeah, international level.
Friday afternoon, 4:00 in the afternoon, I got an email from a gentleman in Greece who was stuck in Greece and needs to get back here. And as I said, we sprung into action. And over the weekend, we were able to get communication with the chief of the department, the section of the immigration service that handles that type of matter. And we had email exchanges going back and forth over the weekend.
Well, if I could just jump in for a sec, you know, I got a call from a person whose mother is a United States citizen. She's 51 years old and she's married. She was taken aback because she wanted to hire us. And I said, there's really nothing we can do. Your priority date isn't current. Your priority date is, you know, at least 6 years away. And she couldn't understand that. You know, and she said, well, my I-130 is approved and my mother's a citizen. I said, ma'am, there is nothing we can do. Your priority date is not current. And this is someone, again, who obviously tried to do this process on their own, doesn't understand what's going on. But again, if there's nothing we can do, we will tell you there is nothing we can do at the moment.
Gentlemen,
Squeeze, before I finish, you asked about the Brooklyn office. As I said, Ruthie she jumped right in. She's all over it. F train. All right, it's the Avenue I stop on the F train, and the bus is the B11. I said it was the 11 or the 12. It's the B11. It stops right at the corner of McDonald and Avenue I, right in front of our office. So come and visit us, folks. In fact, Squeeze, we have to do, once we reopen, we must do the show from the office in Brooklyn.
Absolutely.
The storefront. That'll be fun.
We will, definitely. We can even do a 2-hour show. What do you say, Adam?
2 hours? I haven't spent 2 hours on anything in the past 3 months other than working on personal injury cases. But all right.
All right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the number here is 844-774-3529. And may the attorneys tell you about the different departments, the different capacities, their offices, and so forth. But it's extremely important that we kill that chime in the background there. But the number is 844-774-3529. Looking for great and phenomenal attorneys. Make it PPID. That's 844-774-3529. I need everyone to just dial the number and then store it. Okay, you never know when you will need an immigration attorney, a personal injury attorney, a family law attorney, criminal defense attorney, a real estate attorney. All you need to know is 844-774-3529. Dial the number and save the number. It's 11 minutes before the hour here on 93.5 WVIP FM and also on Facebook. We're going to ask everyone that is on Facebook, please share the link that you're watching. As I just see Mr. Adam Hanley just confused the hell out of me. Like, share your screen. I mean, share that link that you are watching. All right. Share the link that you're watching with someone else that you think may need or have an interest in this law show, as we call it. Okay. That Cruising with the Case Handler. 844-774-3529. We're going to flip it over to Adam Handler on personal injury. He will give us a true success story here on the radio and also on Facebook. And do remember that you can switch over to Facebook, my page, David Squeeze Annakie, PPID's page, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico, and obviously the Adam Handler's page, the Case Handler's page. And let's just flip it over to personal injury as we go back to the Shark. We also call him the Shark.
Thanks, man. Here he comes. No, all this talk of Brooklyn wanted me to pull up a Brooklyn case, and nothing gives me more pleasure than to talk about those big fat multi-million-dollar settlements. But fortunately for people getting hurt out there, they're not all multi-million-dollar settlements, because if you're getting that kind of money, you've got some pretty big problems, unfortunately. But there are cases that we settle and we get everything we can, and this is a case in which we got everything we could. The minimum insurance requirements here in the state of New York are $25,000. In New Jersey, it's actually $15,000. That means if some knucklehead is driving their vehicle with the minimum amount of insurance, $25,000 or $15,000, that is the maximum you can get. In this particular situation, obviously you can see if you're on Facebook right now, very, very serious accident, a rear end accident. The driver actually fell asleep at the wheel and ran into the back of our client. And Squeeze, if you wouldn't mind doing me the honor of reading that quote.
I didn't have to call them for an update because they proactively always kept in contact with me. Adam and his team did everything they said they would do, making it very easy for me. It was all good and totally stress-free. All thanks to Adam and Sandra. Rico from Brooklyn.
Yep, and it was a $25,000 settlement. Unfortunately, that was the maximum we can get him, but we did get it for him. And I remember we got this within only a couple weeks. He had an interesting case real quick. You know, he had a leg surgery years before. He was in a sports accident, and it was a bad enough fracture that it required what's called an internal fixation. That's essentially some hardware, some plates and screws in your leg or arm, wherever you get it, just to keep the bones together. But after the accident, he was having a recurrence of the pain in his leg, and he went back to his doctor. And his doctor said, you know what, we weren't planning on doing this, but we're going to take out that hardware. You know, that wasn't a part of the orthopedic treatment plan, but initially. But now that you had this accident, it was, you know, he bumped his knee or something like that, and it was re-aggravated. And he went in and he got the hardware removed. And as soon as we were able to establish through his doctor, I remember his doctor, you know, really was adamant that this surgery was a direct cause of this. It was directly caused by this accident. He would not have required the operation to remove the hardware if he had not re-injured his knee. And once we had that certification from the doctor, it was game over. And again, $25,000 going his way. You know, we talk about it all the time. And finally, Ruthie, thank you so much for updating. Our website now officially indicates we are over $120 million for case handler clients. Excellent. Love seeing that.
Oh,
you know, that's the years of dedication and hard work and making sure your clients get the maximum amount of compensation possible. That's what we do here at PPID, and that's certainly what, you know, I do as an attorney. So I'm so happy to see that update. Thank you. Again, 844-774-3529 or 844-PPID law. Unless you have our number, we are never going to hear from you. We don't hang out at the accident scene. We don't have people in the emergency room. We don't have tow truck operators handing you business cards to therapy offices and lawyers. We do it the right way, and we get the right results. 844-774-3529 or 844-PPID law.
That's 844-774-3529. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I need everyone out there tuning into 93.5 WVIP FM as we blow it up with the number. I need everyone watching us on Facebook as the numbers go up on Facebook. Everybody sharing the page in groups, on pages they manage and so forth. The most important thing you can take away from this every single day is to store the number. And that number happens to be 844-774-3529. That is 844-774-3529. I have the personal injury attorney. You just heard from Adam Handler. If you get hurt in an accident, that is the man you need. No one else. If you work on a construction site or you get hurt where construction is, you need that man, Adam Handler, ladies and gentlemen. Medical malpractice, slip and fall. You need that man, the case handler. And yes, he has proven himself to the Caribbean community. He has settled well over $120 million, and he has been serving the Caribbean community and beyond for well over 15 years.
Almost my entire career. You know, I've been practicing attorney almost 18 years now. A little over 15 of that has been just working with people that are listening to this show right now. People that, you know, are immigrants, families of immigrants from West Indian culture. It's a community that's embraced me, and it's certainly the community that I've embraced back. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And we have a law firm, ladies and gentlemen, that has been around longer than I've been alive. And that's a long
time.
Yeah, that's a very long time. That law firm is PPID, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. And that law firm was built on immigration, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the reason why we have the Conrad Pollacks and the Nelson Madrid. We're about to start asking the questions that you have placed in the WhatsApp group, on the Facebook pages, and texted me. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, you can join the WhatsApp group. Hopefully Tracy and Ali's listening, and they put the link for the WhatsApp group again on the page. But do remember to reach out to us. The number is 844-774-3529. Turn up your radios, switch over to Facebook. Adam, what's your Facebook page?
My Facebook page is the Case Handler, baby.
All right, there you go. Nelson, what's the firm's Facebook page?
PPID.com.
I like how you keep it simple. PPID.
Let me ask you a question. Who's down with PPID?
I'm done with PPID. Everybody's down with
it. Yeah, you know me. Every last lady.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right into it. 3 minutes before we get to the top of the hour, let's see if Conrad or Nelson can answer an immigration question before the top of the hour. All right. It says here, I was deported 10 years ago. My dad is an American citizen, and I have a daughter born in the USA, over 21. What can I do to be able to return to the United States? Maybe that's a question for the Maverick, a.k.a. Nelson Madrid.
Right. So, again, in so many of these questions, we need a lot more facts. It's not just you were deported, what were you deported for? If it was criminal related, how many arrests do you have? Ultimately, how were those cases concluded? Were you, did you sign, your own deportation? Did you fight your case? I would need a lot more information before I could answer that question.
Well, Nelson, let's assume he was just, he was picked up and he was in the wrong place at the wrong time and he was an overstay. All right. Let's assume that.
Right. Well, so if he was simply an overstay with no criminal record, yes, there is a way for him to come back to the United States. If he has a child over 21, the child could petition for him, and he could basically, if he's accrued unlawful presence, which he probably would have as an overstay, his father would be the qualifying relative for the waiver for him in order, which would be required for him to return to the United States. So yes, we would be able to help him in that situation. If there was a criminal case, again, I would need to see the documents. I would need to see the record of conviction. I would need to see the immigration file. It's a lot more complicated. I mean, it's not a simple yes, no answer. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Squeeze, there are all kinds of waivers depending on the person's circumstance, like Nelson was talking about. So, if somebody was in the country and overstayed for more than a year, for instance, and then they leave, they can't come back to the United States by law for 10 years. But there's a waiver for that. And as Nelson mentioned, having a father or having a spouse who's a permanent resident or a U.S. citizen enables that person to apply for that waiver. Takes time, especially if the person's in their country. Getting that waiver could take a year or two. Or if they're out of the country for more than 10 years, he doesn't need a waiver, at least not if it was just for unlawful presence. Now, on the other hand, if there's a criminal matter, then, as Nelson said, it's going to depend on the specifics of the crime that he was convicted of, or did he plead guilty, or was it more than one offense? And there are all kinds of things.
Let's give that number out real quick before
I was giving him the 15-second marker. All right. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, you heard from Conrad and Nelson, two attorneys at the firm. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPID-LAW. 844-774-3529. It's 9 o'clock. There we go. Got it in. Love the numbers on Facebook. Keep going up. Keep sharing, my people. Share. Share the show. Cruising with the Case Handler. Catch it every weekday morning on 93.5 WVIP FM in New York. Okay? And that's at 8:30 a.m. And Saturdays, we do it all over the place. Saturdays, we do it between 6 and 8 at one time. I push on Saturday because I want everybody. Because the attorneys are not on, so I get all the time in the world to just push the number. And trust me, they call.
We got a lot of calls yesterday. In fact, this weekend, Wanda, man, she was like, they had her jumping. We must have got, I don't know how many dozens of phone calls we received over the weekend. That's great. It's great.
Just tell us when you guys want us to turn it up even more, because we can turn it up a little bit more.
We're gonna have to get Wanda on here, and she can explain to you and
if she's willing to do that, that actually could be a great idea, because I'm sure people are interested to know, what the experience is like when they
call.
When they call, exactly.
And Wanda is really, especially on the weekend, she is the principal point of contact. So she is the person that typically the people are speaking to when they call on Saturdays, or when she calls them back.
Right. And I don't know if Adam told you guys, we have some more airtime on the station. We're on Friday evenings at 6 p.m. We're on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. So you're going to see, more people reaching out to you guys, So once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's PPID. We're spreading our wings and we're making sure that you have a powerful phone number for lawyers. And that number, once again, is 844-774-3529. All right. It's time for me to get to, let's get to another question right now, right here. Once again, we're on immigration, so let's get to this one here. That one more here. If the petitioner died and a new sponsor takes over, for example, an F2B petition was already approved, but waiting for visa will take years and the principal petitioner dies. If a new sponsor, I'm confused with this one.
Say it again.
I'm gonna read it. I'm reading it verbatim. All right, and you guys figure it out. If the petitioner died and a new sponsor takes over, okay, on an F2B petition, which was already approved but waiting for visa, okay, and the principal petitioner dies. If a new sponsor, for example, my brother, filed humanitarian reinstatement and requested USCIS to continue the petition, would there be any changes in the priority date, or will it be the same from the time that the petition was filed or approved?
Complicated scenario, right, Nelson? That's
even the question. Reading the question was complicated.
That's what you call the widow penalty law. All right. A lot's going to depend on where the beneficiary is. If the beneficiary is out of the country, he's got a problem. They were talking about humanitarian reinstatement. The gentleman or the woman has obviously done a little bit of homework. After a visa petition is approved. By the way, F2B is a family-based immigration category, which applies to the adult, unmarried sons or daughters of a lawful permanent resident. So the person who died, the petitioner, unfortunately, was this person's father who had a green card. Now, cases like that typically take about 10 years. So he dies. Let's assume that the petitioner dies. Let's assume that beneficiary, his son or daughter, unmarried, over 21, is in his country. If that's the case, the only way to continue that process is through, as this person mentioned, humanitarian reinstatement. They would have to go to the American consulate and basically say, hey, I have all of these reasons that I need to continue the case. Even though my father died, please let me come to the United States. What are those reasons? I don't know. I'm a bio researcher and I have specific information and research that I've done on the coronavirus, and I can really help to find a cure. That's a good humanitarian reason to get back into the United States. Okay, I obviously am giving an extreme example. There are other ways of doing it as well, but it's very difficult. Humanitarian reinstatement has always been difficult. Under the current administration, it's a lot more difficult than it used to be. You need really solid reasons. Now, getting back to the gentleman said, now, can I have my brother take over? Sure you can, but it's going to take a long time. Now, there are different scenarios if the applicant is in the United States. I don't know if he is or he isn't. And Nelson, maybe you want to jump in there, because we are working on a case like that right now. As a matter of fact, that we got from the radio. Where
I'm sorry, where the applicant is abroad?
No, where the beneficiary is in the United States and the petitioner died. They want to go. He's trying to get relief under the Widow Penalty Act.
Right. So, I mean, I think you pretty much covered everything. I don't really have much to add, Conrad. I'm sorry.
Well, once again, we can add the number.
Yeah. You know what? Let's do that. 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529.
In fact, I think it should be a rule of this show. Whenever, we don't get stumped, but whenever, if you happen to stump us, or if we have nothing else to add, if Squeeze, when you come to us and say, Adam, what do you have to say about that? I'll be like, 844-774-3529. That should be the answer.
Sorry. In the future, I'm going to try to be less thorough, guys. I'm sorry.
No problem. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's called Cruising with a Case Handler. It's 6 minutes after the hour. Once again, the number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. If you have a question in the capacity of personal injury or, of course, immigration law, real estate law, criminal defense. We had Hammer Time last week. Greg the Hammer Pinto. And, of course, it's where, we have the criminal defense attorney come on the show and speak in the capacity of criminal defense law. It's very important that we have a full service law firm number in our pocket, ladies and gentlemen, and also in our cell phone. No one carries a business card anymore, do they? Your attorneys carry business cards?
Absolutely. In court, it's required. Whenever you have a case and there's a court reporter or somebody that's going to take an official record of the hearing, they always want you to hand them a business card. Why they can't just take your information and write it down, I don't know. I think they like to staple it to papers. But, more and more now that we're becoming virtual, for example, we're doing phone consultations and Zoom consultations. We're not handing you a business card. Whereas if you're in our office, I usually have clients say, oh, can I take a few extra for my friends? I said, of course. But yeah, maybe business cards are going to die a little bit. If you're in the business card business, you may want to start thinking about, other lines.
Although I experienced the same thing, Adam, in immigration court at immigration. Often people will come up to me and ask me, do you have a business card? For what they're not happy with their attorney. They don't have an attorney. They obviously liked the way you presented yourself, the way you presented the case. I walk around with business cards.
Yeah, that's a very unique feeling when a total stranger sees you in action in court. And this has happened to me during some of my jury trials. What am I talking about? Almost every jury trial that I've ever, taken to a verdict. I always like to speak to the jury after the case just to get their thoughts. And thankfully, I've been blessed with a nearly perfect record. So I usually am pretty happy when I'm speaking to them. And, they all say to me, can I have my card? Because if I ever got in an accident, if I was ever hurt, I would want somebody as passionate and as enthusiastic and as prepared as you are representing me. What a high compliment for somebody to pay, Nelson, that when they see you in court to say, hey, can we have your business card? Because we may want you to be our lawyer. What a wonderful feeling that is professionally.
You guys sound like very proud attorneys, and I'm very proud of you. One more question before we conclude, because this is only the last one I have here. This one came in on my Instagram page from Spinelli Cushman. It says, good morning. Question. Do you have to be a citizen or a green card holder to operate a business in the United States?
No.
Okay. Very short answer,
so
but
thorough.
Want more information? Yeah. If you want more information,
I'm going to be less thorough, didn't I?
Yep. If you want more information, call 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. And
if I could just jump in to expound slightly on the answer that I just gave.
On that deep answer.
No, you don't have to have a green card. You don't have to be a U.S. citizen, depending on the business, of course. I mean, if you're going to, I don't know, you want to open a dentist office, yeah, it's probably a good idea to get a green card. But first, you have to have training and education and a degree and a license and so on and so forth. But let's assume this person, I don't know, he wants to open a pizzeria, right? He's got a new formula, that deep dish, deep oven pizza that we all love so much. And he's got a lot of outdoor space so people can socially distance.
Yeah.
He is. He doesn't have to have a green card or be a U.S. citizen to open that business. I mean, there are other issues there, but to actually open that business, he's going to not necessarily need to, but he's going to open a corporation. And in order to incorporate, you need a social security number in order to get a tax ID number. So if you want to incorporate, you need that social security number. And if you are not here with a green card or a U.S. citizenship, you are not going to be able to get a social security number. What people do, they will use their brother's social security number to do that, or their partners, or their lawyers, or whatever. And then they can incorporate. And when the corporation is formed, then they can get a tax ID number. And that corporation, sort of under the law at least, is considered an individual and can act as an individual. And that's how the person would set up the business if they don't have
Does that help somebody's chances at legalizing their status in the United States? Let's say they have business and we're paying taxes for the past 5 years.
Maybe. It depends on the circumstance. I mean, there are a lot of factors that come into play here. I'm assuming a situation like this where this person just comes in on a tourist visa, is legally here, and has decided, you know what, I like it here, I want to open a business. Okay, so he comes to me, and he's been here for 3 months, and I found a spot, I want to open this restaurant. Okay, here's what you do. First off, I'm going to walk you down the hall to talk to my partner who handles this type of transaction. And he's going to tell you about the shareholders agreement you need to create and the partnership agreement you need to create, or the corporation that you need to create in order so you can open a bank account. Right? You're not going to open that bank account in your personal name because you don't have any documentation here. You're going to set up a corporation, and as I said, you need a social security number, and you get that from somebody. Then you set up the corp, and you get a tax ID number. The bank will allow that corporation to set up a bank account using its tax ID number. Thereafter, to legalize, it depends on what the person's circumstances are.
Let me jump in for a second. As far as Adam, to answer your question, to legalize. Now, as Conrad would say, let's pretend the person has a deportation order and they want to try to reopen their case. That is an equity that is taken into consideration. That is something that they would definitely look at and would set you apart from other people, right? Anytime you want to try to reopen a deportation case, the first thing is you have to show that you're prima facie, or that you are immediately eligible for a green card, okay? Or there is a way for you to legalize your status. The next thing you want to show is all of the positive things you've done while in the United States, you know, i.e. opening up a business, employing 10 people, paying taxes, you know, completing a master's degree, never being arrested, an active member of your church, an active member of your community. All of these things, you know, immigration does take these things into consideration when they decide whether or not they want to reopen your case. And obviously, if they reopen your case, that would allow you now the opportunity to legalize your status.
You know, I was about to say, the point to take here that just crossed my mind. If you have a visa, if you're legally in the United States, you do not want to give that up. If you have a tourist visa, you want to extend it or leave before it expires, or change to a student visa, or maybe get some kind of work visa. You create a business here, you might be eligible to obtain a work visa by doing so, depending on the circumstances. The point is, if you have a visa, you really need to consider that as a privilege. If you're here legally, you need to view that as a privilege, because if you lose it, if you overstay that time by 1 day, right, you lose it, and you basically lose it forever. You're never going to get back in status. If you leave the country after it expires, it's going to be extremely difficult to get another visa. I can't emphasize enough how, if you are in lawful status, keep the lawful status going. Leave the country before it expires, or extend it if you can. But if you can't, leave and then come back a couple of months later. Just do not overstay your visa, because once you do, the various options you may have had while you were still in lawful status disappear once you are out of status. Basically, the only way to legalize after you let that visa expire is to marry a U.S. citizen. That is pretty much the only way you can get a